Mark Walker's inauguration as president isn't the beginning of his Lee journey. In fact, it serves as a culmination of over a century of the Walker family's deep and profound service and commitment to the institution. The Walker legacy began in 1919 with Dr. Walker's grandfather, Paul Haven Walker. Born on a 900-acre farm in rural North Dakota, Paul Haven Walker was a farmer and rancher in search of a higher calling. He found that calling after a treacherous 2,800-mile journey through America's heartland, which led to an intense spiritual awakening at the Church of God General Assembly in Cleveland, Tennessee. Paul enrolled in Bible training school immediately following the 1919 General Assembly and soon began a long and remarkable career, ministering to congregations in 12 states and 64 countries alongside his wife, Margaret Holloway. Paul Haven Walker would go on to serve as both the president of Northwest Bible College and a prominent leader in the Church of God. Mark Walker's father, Paul L. Walker, arrived at Lee College in 1949. Paul entrenched himself in the Lee experience, participating in intramural sports, leading the Vendagua team as club editor, and performing in a gospel quartet before graduating as Mr. Lee College in 1951. After Lee, Paul and his wife Carmelita began their lifelong career in ministry. He soon became the pastor of Mount Perrin Church of God, leading it to become one of the most influential congregations in the denomination. Paul was an incredible advocate for Lee, returning as a frequent chapel speaker throughout the 60s and into the early 2000s. He later served on Lee's board of directors and at one point served as chairman. After the tragic passing of his son, Paul Dana Walker, in 1980, Paul raised money to build the Paul Dana Walker Arena in 1982. In 1996, Paul became the general overseer of the Church of God. Dr. Mark Walker didn't attend Lee like his father and grandfather, but opted to study business administration at Georgia State University. After graduation, he began his career in the computer software industry at Management Science America in Atlanta, Georgia. He and Udella, a Lee University alumna, were married in 1984, and soon after they felt the call to full-time pastoral ministry. After a brief tenure as the senior pastor of First Assembly of God in Orlando, Florida, Dr. Walker returned to Mount Perrin North, where he served as the associate pastor for 5 years and the senior pastor for 20 years. At one point, Mount Perrin North sent more students to Lee University than any other church in the Church of God. During that time, Mark earned 2 master's degrees from Georgia State and the Pentecostal Theological Seminary, as well as a PhD in organizational leadership from Regent University. Mark also served on the board of directors for Lee University and has been a frequent chapel and convocation speaker. In 1999, he was named an Honorary Alumnus of the Year at Lee. Both of Mark and Udella's children, Justin and Ashton, are Lee alumni. In 2017, Paul Kahn offered him the role of Vice President for Ministerial Development and the chair of the Christian Ministries Department at Lee University. And in 2020, Dr. Mark Walker was named the President of Lee University by the Board of Directors. As we look into the future of Lee University, it is important to reflect on the legacy of hard work, integrity, and faith that has strengthened the institution. The heritage of the Walker family is unmistakably intertwined with that legacy. That's why Lee can rely on a leader who knows the personal and spiritual power of a Lee University education. Congratulations, Dr. Mark Walker. We can't wait to see what lies ahead for both the Walker family and Lee University.